What's up, everyone? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 20. That's right. 8 days left in this month. Albums that are 40 years old in 2025. Looking back on the year 1985. 28 days in the month. We're picking out our 28 favorites released in that year. They're celebrating their 40th birthdays and anniversaries this year. And yes, for those of you who saw yesterday's video, and heard my comment at the end, yes, we are continuing with albums that are 30 years old in 2025, looking at 1995, and albums that are 20 years old in 2005. We're still going to do that. The reason I brought it up is because I wanted to hear from folks in the comments, like, do you care about these anniversary shows anymore, right? Because the views are waning. So I'm just curious if people still really enjoy them. And it seems like a lot of people are, right? So I'll continue to do them. I've seen your comments, and I hear you. I was never intending to just cut it, but I just, I worry and I wonder when I see, like, if I look at last year when, these were doing twice the amount of views, and I get it. We post a lot of content on the channel. You have a lot of other content you can watch. There's a lot of other channels that are having similar type conversations to what we do here on SOT. I get it. There's a lot of things going on in life. People are back to doing normal life things, right? It seems like COVID-19 is far in the distance. People weren't, were just sitting watching YouTube videos at the time and had nothing better to do with their time. I get it. Things are a little differently now. But make no mistake about it. Our views across the channel are way up. We have the last couple of months, we've had more views on a monthly scale than we have in quite a while. So it's people are watching SOT. We're publishing lots of content, and we may not be doing the consistent 50,000 view episodes from time to time, but we got quite a few, like just in the last couple of weeks alone, that are doing 10, 20, 30,000 views, and people are watching. The morning show, the 9 o'clock show every day, used to draw bigger numbers. I know we have a very dedicated following who they consistently watch the morning show, may not watch a lot of our other stuff because I keep it simple here on the morning show. I think I just need to temper my expectations of how many people watch these every day. It's work for me to put these together and get up every morning and do them, or sometimes I do them at night, right, whenever I can squeeze them in. But I know we have a lot of people who enjoy it. They love hanging out in the chat. I get it. But I just wanted to kind of get a pulse check from everybody on. It's like, hello, you still out there? You still interested in these little anniversary shows and little lists and things that I do? Because basically the morning shows are they're just lists. They're list shows, right? So anyway, that being said, I just wanted to thank you all for your comments. I do greatly appreciate it. Today for day number 20. This is the 14th studio album from this British band, released November 11th, 1985. Another November baby, recorded at Rockfield Studios, produced by the band for Griffin Music in the UK, Flick Knife Records in other parts of the world. Don't know if I know Flick Knife Records all that well. Anyway, the album is The Chronicle of the Black Sword by the mighty Hawkwind, the pioneers of space rock, and a very, very cool album that if you haven't heard, I think you really need to listen to this. Now, remember, guys, I saw a couple comments from people who were like, sometimes you talk about too much obscure stuff on these listy shows, and people maybe aren't interested in obscure bands. It's like, well, if these are favorite albums from years, they're your favorites, whether they were triple platinum sellers or they sold 500,000 copies or whether they sold 50 copies. It doesn't matter. Right? I'm not just here picking popular albums that everybody knows. I'm not just picking one specific genre. 85, it's pretty metal heavy for me and hard rock heavy. But I like other stuff too. It depends on the year, right? It's the luck of the draw. These are not defined by where they charted and how popular they were and all that. These are my favorites. You guys are picking your favorites in the comments. That's how it works. So, don't judge the albums based on their popularity. It's like they're being picked by myself, and you guys in the comments are picking your own based on how much you love them and which are your absolute favorites from that year. It's not driven by album sales, right? So, like I said, this is the 14th album from this band, Space Rock Pioneers, and the album, it's basically a concept album. It's weird because this is the... I had earlier CD version of this. I think this is like the remaster or reissue with some bonus stuff. But I had an earlier one where they had a different cover. I think the original US cover was a little bit different. I liked it better. But here they also have some alternate cover art. I think that's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, the Chronicles of the Black Sword is based on the fantasy books of Michael Moorcock. And the main character is Elric of Melniboné. Okay, so that is a very famous fantasy character, like a warrior character. He's kind of like, is he part elf? I think he is. And that character is featured across many books by Michael Moorcock. And Michael Moorcock was working very closely with the band Hawkwind to come up with the storyline for this, and even helped out with some of the lyrics, right? So here we've got, as you know, the band Hawkwind always had fluctuating members in the band. The constant, as always, throughout the entire career has been Dave Brock on guitars, plays some keyboards and synths, and of course lead and backing vocals. You got Hugh Lloyd Langdon, longtime guitarist in the band, also sings as well. Harvey Bainbridge, keyboards and vocals on the album. Alan Davey, bass guitar and vocals. Most folks in band Hawkwind take part in lead and backing vocals, even though Dave is the main singer. Danny Thompson Jr. on drums and Dave Charles on percussion. And this would be one of the first albums to really dive deep into conceptual themes in a while. And I think it works really, really well. There's like, first of all, it's 1985. There's lots of space rock elements on this particular album. The use of the synthesizers and sequencers and things, and there's all sorts of little interlude pieces that come between like some of the main tracks, which I think is pretty cool, and it kind of helps. That's like a Hawkwind thing. They do that a lot throughout their career. They will put these short little minute-long pieces that are just basically like these kind of synth flutterings or soundscapes in between, like some of the more realized pieces, some of the harder rocking pieces. Starts off with Song of the Swords. While there is like an 80s sound to this album, especially the drums don't sound all that great, but this is definitely a much more upbeat and straightforward rockin' album, hard rock album. I wouldn't say there's really any metal on here, but it still sounds like Hawkwind, having all the synths kind of fluttering and flying all over the place. It's definitely got that space rock feel, but it's definitely a little bit different, a little more straightforward, I think. Song of the Swords, great song. Shade Gate is another really, really cool one. Then you got the Sea King, which is pretty catchy. There's actually some really catchy stuff on here. You'll find as you get through this album that to me, reminds me a little bit of 80s Blue Oyster Cult in spots. Blue Oyster Cult did this kind of mix of like, hard rock and pop and a little bit of prog, a little bit of psych. And in the 80s, they kind of, electronicized, and that's not really a word, their sound a little bit more, incorporating more synths and things like that. So I think it's more of not Hawkwind sounded like Blue Oyster Cult, but Blue Oyster Cult sounded like Hawkwind. I don't know. But again, if you listen to this album, you may hear some of the things that I hear when I hear it, because I hear, especially what some of the vocal melodies and the harmonies, right? The catchy hooks and things, the memorable choruses. I get like a BOC feel. The Pulse, so we got the Sea King, really, really great song, very memorable. The Pulsing Cavern is like a cool kind of like synth soundscape type of thing, really cool. And that bridges the gap to Elric the Enchanter. Really good rockin' song. I like that a lot. Over on side 2 of the original vinyl, you have my favorite song on the album, and it's one of my favorite Hawkwind songs, called Needle Gun. It's basically just a hard rock tune, but man, the chorus is so much fun, and I love the Dave Brock vocal on it. It's just kind of playful, but the song rocks. Got great riffs. Needle gun, get you when you run. It's just so good, so catchy, really good. Zarazenia is another kind of atmospheric spacey piece. Then the Demise comes in. That's a minute long. That's just like a little synth thing. That then leads you into Sleep of a Thousand Tears. Oh, I want to go back to Zarazenia. That's like Pink Floyd. It's haunting, it's dreamy, it's got this totally like Gilmore style vocal, and just really good chorus and just really melodic. Another one of my favorite songs on here. I'll kind of highlight my couple of favorites on here. Sleep of a Thousand Tears, really good. Chaos Army, again, more synth stuff. And then Horn of Destiny is the last track. And again, that's just total great, Hawkwind style space rock, right? It kind of rocks, but it's got loads of synths and it's just flutters and floats and all that. Just really, really good stuff. If you get the reissue, you got all sorts of bonus tracks. You got the Ariok is on this. You got some live stuff. You got Night of the Hawks and Assault and Battery and Dragon and Fables, all sorts of stuff, depending on which reissue you get, because there's multiple ones. Some have a couple different live things. Some include the Earth Ritual EP, which is like what I have. So yeah, it's just all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I would definitely say my favorite songs on here: Needle Gun, Zarazenia, Song of the Sword, Shade Gate, and The Sea King are probably my favorite tracks. But man, Horn of Destiny and Elric the Enchanter are amazing also. Really, really good album. Good rockin' Hawkwind album. Definitely space rock, but a little bit more hard rocking than some of their other stuff. I like it a lot. It's really, really good. Do we have any charts? Yeah, this made it, no surprise, did not chart here in the States or certify, but it did make it to number 65 on the UK album charts. And like I said, we've got November 1985, Flick Knife Records, 86, reissued once again. 1992 came out on Dojo. 1994, Griffin Music. And then 2009, the Adam Henge, which is a version of the Cherry Red Records. That's the one that I have. So this is the 2009 reissue on Cherry Red / Adam Henge. They've put out a lot of different Hawkwind stuff in the reissue format. So yeah, very, very good stuff. Like I said, the album cover on the Griffin release in 1994, like I said, I had that originally on CD. That's my favorite out of all of them. This is cool, but it's a little, it's kind of like amateurish looking. But definitely a really cool album. And like I said, if you're new to Hawkwind, I generally speaking, when I talk to someone who's never listened to Hawkwind before and is not all that big on space rock, I may recommend like one or two or three of the early albums, but I think if you're already like a rock fan or a hard rock fan and you've never really listened to space rock or prog or any of this weird psychedelic music, this might be the best place to start, because it's more accessible, it's more upbeat and rocking, but you still get a lot of the elements that make Hawkwind so cool. So yeah, so it's a really, really great album. It's my pick today. Day number 20. Let us know what you think of this album down in the comments below. If you've heard it, if you haven't, go check it out. That's what these shows are all about, folks. Hopefully you've picked up some stuff from 1985 this month that you've never heard before. And I would say if I'm talking about an album you're not aware of, you never heard of, go listen to it. You might like it. It's one of my favorites, right? Don't just turn the show off because I never heard that album before. I'm not going to watch anymore. It's like, well, go check them out. It's like, that's what we're all about here on Sea of Tranquility, turning each other on to new songs, music, albums, bands, artists we've never heard before, and hopefully finding that new favorite record or new favorite album, the new favorite artist, right? That's why we do this. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for another one. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options all down below. We'll see you tomorrow for day 21. Tune in tonight for the Monsters Den. We're going to be revealing your picks, the inductees to the Monsters Den Hall of Fame 2025. 9 films are going to get inducted. We got some classics, we got some trash, and we got some individuals that we've all nominated to be inducted as well into our Hall of Fame. So we'll be all revealed tonight. Join us tonight on the Monsters Den, and we'll see you then. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.